Hey guys, this episode of Dudes and Brews is sponsored by Perfect Works. If you love craft beer on the go, their U-Keg pressurized growler is a game changer. It's perfect for taking your favorite brew anywhere, whether you're heading to a picnic, camping, or just hanging out with friends. The double wall, vacuum insulated stainless steel keeps your beer cold all day, and it's super easy to pour. Ready to elevate your camping experience? Head over to U-Keg's website at perfectworks.com. That's the word perfect works, WERKS.com, and grab yours today. Trust me, once you try it, you won't want to go camping without it. Cheers.
Warning, this podcast, website, and associated social media accounts are intended for audiences of legal drinking age. We do not advocate overconsumption or the abuse of alcohol. Never drink and drive, drink responsibly. And please remember to always take what we say with a grain of salt. After all, we are just some dudes with some brews.
We started out by crawling out from under the thumb of the man. The lovers of God with dad bods, just trying to feed our fam. Go sit right there and grab a beer, you know just what to do. Throw it back, get hammered, and listen to Dudes and Brews. So Dan the man, I appreciate you coming on the show and hanging out with me today, man.
Absolutely.
So I hear that we're gonna do an experiment.
Okay.
On some non-alcoholic versus the alcoholic version of
Yes.
some beers.
Yes.
See how well they translate with each other. Have you had a lot of non-alcoholic beers?
I have. I've experimented around quite a bit. I'm not trying to sober up or anything, but sometimes you want to find something that you can drink that will taste like a beer that will also let you drive home.
All right.
Yeah. So, I've experimented a bit. I think I've tried a lot of Athletic, and the Guinness Double Zero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've also dipped into kombuchas. Those are also kind of like, kombuchas aren't actually non-alcoholic, but I was pretty sure they were. So I would like just bring.
I thought that they were like 1% or below, or some of them high.
Some of them, it's. I shouldn't cast aspersions on commercial kombucha breweries. It's my understanding is it's pretty difficult to test. So a lot of commercial kombucha breweries have invested and they test, and they are doing it within the letter of the law. So it's under 1% or 0.5%.
Yeah, that's what Wikipedia says is under 0.5. So
that said, I've made my own kombucha a lot. And I don't have a way to test, so I'm pretty sure that I was just like drinking at work accidentally.
So you have like, what is it called, a SCOBY?
A SCOBY, yeah.
So you have a SCOBY in the fridge at all times now?
Yeah. Well, right now I haven't like brewed a fresh batch in a long time, so now I've got like a big tub in a back closet that's like maybe an inch of tea at the bottom and like 4 inches of SCOBY on top.
Oh, that's great.
It's pretty gnarly.
Yeah. So that's one that I never got into. There was a girl that I used to work with when I was in the office that did it. And I just never got into it. I've tried a few of them, and a lot of them are ginger based.
Yes.
And I'm like, not that I mind ginger, but I don't really want a ginger tea all the time.
Yeah. No, I definitely sympathize with that.
So outside of that, like some of the fruit ones have been fine.
Oh yeah. There was a fad. Hopped kombucha was a thing for a while. I tried making that, and I think that's a friend of mine who is like rock climbing. Like, I'm gonna do all this healthy stuff.
Yeah.
He was the one who was like, "Hey Dan, you got to come with me. I'm gonna get you a kombucha." I'm like, "I don't know, man. This sounds gross." And he was like, "Okay, meet me halfway. I'll get you a hopped kombucha." And I'm like, "Great." And I open it. I'm like, this has gone so bad. This is so gross, dude.
Oh no.
But then like 2 days later, I'm like, I'm gonna try something else, and picked up, I don't know, I think GT or one of the
GT's one of the big brands. Yeah.
And just a basic like, I don't know, peach ginger or something.
Sure.
And was like, okay, this is weird, but it might be good. And then just went on from there for several years.
Yeah. I don't mind it. It's yeah, the Scobies look weird, but I am into the non-alcoholic stuff because I drink beer for the flavor, not to get hammered.
Okay.
So if they can perfect non-alcoholic beer, then I don't know that I would drink alcohol anymore.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like for real. But everything that I've had, it's either an IPA, which is the hops cover up all the weirdness of a non-alcoholic, or they taste a little different. They taste a little off.
Yeah.
Like the Golden from Athletic, I thought it tasted a little off, but both of their IPAs were like, these are great. I could drink these all day.
Yeah.
And I blame it on the hops.
You
but
think
I don't
the
know
hops?
if that's true.
The hops are good at masking that.
That's
twang.
that's my theory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true, but that's the theory.
I think it's a good cover. I will say that the one of the closest non-alcoholics that I've had is that Guinness, which is famously not a very hopped beer.
Right.
I don't know how some miracle it tastes like a Guinness, but with the most minimal twang.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Or some some very slight thing missing.
Okay. Well, with the dark beers in mind, you did bring a porter, right?
I did, yeah. Black Butte Porter.
Sweet. Let's go ahead and start with that.
Sounds good.
This is by Deschutes, right?
It is, yes.
Out
Deschutes.
of Portland.
Yes, that is. I think that's right.
Let me grab a bottle opener.
Yes, sir. Nice.
Yeah, this might be the first time that that I drink beer more than once on the show. I think I think I've had this on the show before, but
nice.
It'll be nice to get to try them side by side and see if we can, if there's a distinct difference or not.
More or less.
Yeah, no, that's
right.
that looks fine. Man, I love the way this one smells.
Oh, it is a classic. Ooh, there might be some slight coloration difference.
I like the can.
Yeah, it's nice.
I
and
like
pretty.
the red you should call it a color palette. I was thinking like it looks like a sunset versus the other one I think is like blue, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The red sunset makes it looks so much cooler.
Hell yeah.
So you should change it to the red sunset, guys. That's what I'm saying. So, color difference, you said?
I thought that I saw some in the pouring. Now that they're in the glass, I
don't know that I could tell these apart.
I think I was wrong. I think I just
When you were pouring it mixed with the CO2, maybe it lightened it up as you're pouring it. But let's go ahead and try the one that has the alcohol. Which, hold on. And it's a damn good porter.
Oh, it's just a classic. Oh, it's great.
See, and it doesn't even have that much alcohol anyway. It comes in at 5.5.
5.5. Oh, very respectable.
Yeah, which is what I want out of a porter anyway. I don't want anything crazy. Yeah, nice, smooth. You get a little bit of the coffee notes, a little bit of the roastedness. I think it's a damn good beer.
It's absolutely. Yeah, it's I think it's an exemplar of the porter style.
For sure.
For sure. All right, now I did try one of these yesterday, but I was very thirsty at the time.
The smell is not as pungent.
No, it's really not there. Okay.
You're missing all like the coffee notes. Right out the front, it's the mouthfeel. The mouthfeel's not there.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. I think, yeah, there's just, it's like almost a lighter version, like calorie lighter.
Correct, because it's you can still tell it's on the porter side of things, but everything is lighter. The roastiness is not as pungent. The slight coffee, even on the nose and on the palate.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's it's. However, I will say it doesn't have a. I'm not going to say that there are off notes. There's just missing notes.
Yeah, correct. It doesn't have a weird like non-alcoholic something. If somebody like if this was a home brew and somebody said, "Hey, I made a porter," I would drink it and go, "Hey, man, you did well."
It's a darn fine porter.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any complaints about it at all. With that being said, side by side, the one with alcohol does taste better.
I think so.
But if you give this to me without saying anything, I'm gonna drink it and I'm gonna be happy. It almost gives off like because it's not as carbed either.
Yeah, I wonder.
It's almost like it gives me like a nitro feel.
I can see that.
Even though it's not like the fluffiness of it, but like the less carb and like less bite. I don't know.
Yeah, let's see here. I'm sure I was going to try to say something smart about like, there's a reduced body so it doesn't retain as much XYZ. But yeah, I think you're spot on. Both of them are fine. I would much prefer the leaded version most of the time.
I am right there with you. So one thing we like to do on the show is we like to rate these.
Okay.
So with the non-alcoholic version, we're just going to rate the non-alcoholic today. Scale of 1 to 5 in quarter increments. What would you give this?
I'm gonna say in the vast like kingdom of beers, or in non-alcoholic beers, or what's our context here?
So usually when I rate a beer, it is how well do I enjoy this beer in the moment.
Okay.
Now that doesn't mean that it's going to be the same next week when I drink it. I could go, well, this wasn't as good as I remember it being, so I'm giving it a lower rating now.
Okay.
So it's how much do I enjoy it. I don't compare it to anything else. I don't compare it to styles. Just go, how much do I enjoy this beer?
Okay. I will say, I'm going to say a 3.5.
See, I was thinking like a 3.25, so a 3.5 is good. There's nothing wrong with it. Just like you said, it's good for what it is, for sure. So, got a couple things to talk about here though.
Yes, sir.
So you heard that a couple of breweries in the Dallas area have closed. Deep Ellum was one of them.
That's
I haven't
right.
talked about it on the show yet, so.
Okay.
And Funky Picnic closed as well.
Oh, there's been some talk about that. That's that both of those are a shame. I understand Deep Ellum is just sort of closing their tap room.
Yes.
And
so what do you think about that? So they're owned by, I guess, Canarchy Brewing Collective owns a handful of breweries like Oscar Blues, Deep Ellum. They own the one out of Florida that does the Maduro. It's a Cigar City.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a couple more, I think, but those are the big three. And Canarchy was bought out by Monster Beverage Company last year.
I remember.
And the way it seems is that Monster is basically buying large brewing factories, keeping the name and shutting down tap rooms and just brewing them large and shipping them. So they're basically buying names is what they did when they bought Canarchy.
Right. Oh man, that's troubling. It seems like that's a business model that I'm not really. Man, that is a business model I don't like. It reminds me of the I don't know who bought Red Lobster, and they were. Have you heard about this?
As of recent?
Yeah, like
I thought Red Lobster and like Olive Garden and something else was all under like one collective, right? There's like 3 or 4 of them that are under one collective, or at least they used to be.
I think so. I know they used to be. I used to work at a Red Lobster. My understanding is that not too long ago, a few years back, some investment firm realized like Red Lobsters tend to sit on valuable land. They were like, we're going to buy Red Lobster, and then we're going to start making each franchise owner pay exorbitant rent on their land, and
right.
like fully undermined their ability to pay for themselves.
Golden Gate Capital, a private equity firm.
There you go.
Okay. Okay.
So,
because the land is valuable. All right.
I I don't know. It's a similar thing to what happened with. Hey, I'm just going to start talking about the perils of late capitalism. Like HBO got bought out, and now there's nothing good on.
Oh, did they really? Who did HBO get bought out by?
I wish I could tell you. I have no idea, but I know they killed off a few like branches, not Nat Geo, but like Cartoon Network, I think, was.
HBO Max became a Max in 2023 after Harmer Media's merger with Discovery.
That
they
sounds
merged.
Right.
See, this is the thing: is that like, from a business perspective, like I get it. Your job is to make as much money as possible.
Right.
So from a business perspective, you're achieving your goal. What I don't like is it cuts the middleman. It cuts out the little guy. Like the little guy is the one that gets screwed over, specifically in this brewery fiasco, I'm going to call it, because like they had to close down an Oscar Blues location in Austin that was thriving.
Oh, really?
They closed, and then they closed down the Deep Ellum location, and it's like these are mainstays in these cities where people like they were making money. It's not like they were losing money on the property, but they're like, why spend the money when we already own the name and we can continue to brew this beer in massive quantities? Right. Not that Deep Ellum was like doing anything innovative to begin with, like not to be mean to those guys, but they had some really good beers in their time.
Absolutely.
One of them that I really enjoyed was their, it was a sweet stout, local something.
Oh, Local Legend.
Local Legend.
Oh, dude, that
damn thing was so good.
I remember when that dropped. I got a glass. I went to some tasting and got a Local Legend glass.
Love it.
I was like, this is like chocolate milk, man. This is fantastic.
Dude, it's so good.
Oh, yeah.
So like it's little stuff like that I'm like, man, they're not gonna do this anymore. It's gonna be Deep Ellum IPA, Deep Ellum Blonde, and Nito Bandito, and that'll probably be it.
Yep, probably.
And
maybe a specialty like seasonal once a year or something like that.
Maybe. I mean, because you think like Revolver does like weird ones every now and again,
right? But
they're owned by like Anheuser or Coors, one or the other.
One of the big three, one of the big two or three.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were kind of early to get bought out in the Dallas Fort Worth area.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just it's Blood and Honey.
And that's about it. And Light Blood and Honey now.
That's kind of it. Yep.
Yeah, but they did one. It's got like a purple logo.
Is that? Hang on. I may be getting confused between them and RAR. Is it Iron Thistle? Is that RAR or is that Revolver?
Iron Thistle, I'm not familiar with.
Okay, I think it's a Scotch ale. It sounds like it would be a Scotch ale.
If it's a Scotch ale, then it's the one from RAR and Son.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I know which one that you're talking about now. Yeah, because it is purple. Good call on that.
Hey.
But the one by Revolver, what am I talking? Oh, here it is. It's a blonde. It's this one here. It's the 817 blonde.
Oh yeah, I think I've tried that one before.
I mean, it's not bad. They did like a mix pack, like last year I want to say, and this came in like a mix pack.
Right. I think they may have that on draft at the Ash and Barrel.
The blonde.
I believe so. They had a Revolver there the last time I was in.
Oh, at the Ash and Barrel. Oh yeah. I think that they do actually.
Okay.
I think that they do. Yeah. But yeah.
Nice. Decent blonde.
For sure. So had you ever been to a funky picnic?
That is such a funny question. This year at the big homebrew competition, the Blue Bonnet Brew Off.
Oh yeah.
Several of us,
so
3 or 4 of us.
So you went with those guys, okay?
Right. Went to the funky. We went on a bar crawl thing, and by some chain of events, like we went into one place and we were like, nope, we are not stopping here. Done with this place. And we were like, okay, I guess we have to stop by this funky picnic place. And like just a real cool place, real cool vibe. And we tried literally every beer they had on the menu. because they
do.
They had, like-
It's this, right?
Yep.
Or is it bigger than that?
I think it was bigger than that.
That
It
might
was
be the mini version.
This was a little ways into the evening of walking around and drinking.
I get it.
But yeah, we tried every beer they had on the menu. The only ones that were like a little strange were guest taps, and even those were strange, but because they were trying to be strange. Like there was a smoked sour
gotcha.
that like smoked sour is a ballsy move.
Okay. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Vector does one, and Vector's I thought was actually pretty good, but it balanced out well. I can imagine that if it's not balanced, it's not going to be very good.
Yeah.
And you can't have a lot of it. A taster is enough.
Oh, absolutely.
More than enough, I'll say that. So I wish I would have gone because I did hear really good things about it, and now it's closed down. So
I know. I think that one was a branch as well. I think Funky Picnic is based out of Louisiana. I'm not 100% on that.
Oh, really?
It's worth looking into. I could be.
This just shows the
absolutely
Fort
wrong.
Worth location, which granted it's going to show what's closest to us,
Right.
because of just the way things work. But
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
I'm not seeing anything else on here. But I mean, I hope you're wrong. It seems like most of these places are closing because of outside of Deep Ellum, there's been a handful of other closures, and it seems like real estate is becoming an issue. If you don't own your property or don't do like 10-year leases,
Right.
then you get screwed when your lease comes up because you can't afford it.
Right. Yep.
These five, it really takes more than 5 years to really establish a clientele and start making good money. And most of these leases have been about five years, so they expect you to, hey, you're a successful business. You can afford to pay a lot more in rent.
Ooh.
And that's what I've seen with places having to a shutdown. It is unfortunate. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it is a real
So.
shame. It's a bummer of a trend.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they're not too far off from restaurant businesses. And restaurants are notoriously like, man, if you break even, you're doing great.
You don't make money for the first 3 years. Expect to
least.
lose money for the first 3 years at minimum.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so, you got tap rooms, and you might have distribution in your first few years, but
Right.
maybe not, probably not, and certainly not very widespread if you're not paired up with a major distributor.
For sure. So, speaking of restaurants, there's a new, they call it a brewery. From what I've seen online, it's a restaurant that just happens to brew beer, similar to like BJ's.
Okay.
But it's Black Hawk Brewing Company, and it's in Prosper. It's the first
really?
brewery to be put up in Prosper.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
what I've understood is the vibes are more like a restaurant that happens to brew beer. Those are the vibes. Not that that's what they're intending, because it is called Black Hawk Brewing. Brewing is in the name.
Right.
But based on what I've heard about the place and just reviews, that's the vibe that you kind of get out of it. But it's brand spanking new. It's been open for maybe a month. It's a place
Hell
that
yeah.
I'm glad that things are still popping up. It's huge.
That is, for a place that just popped up,
Yeah, they must have like a massive investor.
there must be.
That's all I could say.
That's gnarly.
Like the firm that owns this place.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, that like looks like a BJ's from the outside, just the architecture.
Oh, right.
It's in what looks like a strip mall.
Correct. Yeah, that kind of environment. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm glad things are popping up. I'm interested to see. Oh, not too bad interior design. That's
This
interesting
is
and fun.
may not be it. There may be more than one Black Hawk Brewing. But anyway, this is the one in Prosper though. Yeah, so that's cool. Some closed, some are opening. I heard there were rumors of Union Bear opening up additional locations. Have you been to a Union Bear?
I have never heard of that. What is that?
It is a great date spot.
Okay.
You would not know it's a brewery. It is called Union Bear Brewing Company. It's in the Colony.
Okay.
I mean, what's it near? I guess it's over there. It's It's right off of 121.
Gotcha.
I guess it's near like Lava Cantina and like Hard 8 Barbecue. It's in that area.
yeah.
This is in a strip though. It's the main building in this strip, but It's
Right.
really cool because it's got a back patio, and the back patio like meets up to like a small, I guess you'd call it a river. I call it a big creek. I don't know, but it looks nice. Some nice greenery behind you. But when you walk in, it just looks like a restaurant. It's everything about it is a restaurant. Hostess that seats you.
Okay.
Like everything about it's a restaurant. They just do beer, and I heard that they're going to be opening up an expansion in McKinney.
Ooh. Well, that's good to hear.
Which would be nice.
Yeah, a lot closer by.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. A lot closer by. Yeah.
Nice. They put out good product. What kind of beers
So
did they do?
I had the one that stood out. The other one, I mean, I haven't had anything bad.
Okay.
The one thing that stood out was they did a blood orange wit beer,
Okay.
and it was really good. Really, really good. It was more weedy than what I was expecting. Like the wheat flavor came through. Like I guess they use a lot of wheat in it.
Yeah.
Which it is what it is. But yeah, I liked the blood orange in it. I was like, that's a nice take on a wit beer.
All right. Hell yeah.
That's one that stood out. Everything else I've had has been good, but it didn't stand out. If that sounds right, I don't know.
Right.
That makes it sound bad, but it's really not. I promise.
No, yeah. I mean, it's there's multiple ways to stand out, and not all good. And like,
Correct.
sometimes if something doesn't stand out, that's great.
That's exactly what I say.
Like this non-alcoholic Black Butte Porter.
I enjoyed it.
Right.
I enjoyed it a lot, actually.
Absolutely decent.
Awesome. So before we get on to the next thing, do you want to crack open another one?
Sure. Yeah. Let's see
What else?
we got.
You brought a Heineken. Do you want to do that next before we wreck our palates?
Then yeah, we should probably do
Because
that.
the other one is going to be an IPA.
Make sure this guy doesn't tip over. Yeah, we have got Heineken Original and Heineken 0.0.
I think I may have only had this thing once in my life, if I'm being completely honest. So while you're pouring those, I want to ask you this. So you like playing board games, right?
I do, yeah.
Do you ever do like home brew or house rules?
That is such a good question. I don't. I'm not really. Let's see here. So I've flirted with the idea of writing. Well, I guess my answer is I have flirted with the idea, but I don't really put those into effect very often.
Okay. So one that I'll tell you that did not know this wasn't a rule until recently. That oh my bad. Here are the clean ones. I did that all wrong. They're one of the rules that I found in like the game Monopoly. Do you do anything with the free parking space?
Oh, right. Yeah, that is. Yeah, when I've played Monopoly, it's been a while.
Right.
Yeah, if you land on free parking, you get the whatever cash is in the pot in the middle, right?
Yeah, and that's like where like taxes and stuff and like fees and from community chest, it all goes in the middle.
Right.
That's not a real rule.
That's correct.
The rule is when you land on free parking, nothing happens.
Yeah, you get to sit there.
Yeah. So that is an example of a house or homebrew rule.
Did you know
Uh-huh.
that according to the official rules of Monopoly, like if you land on an unowned property and you can afford it, you have to buy it.
Otherwise, it goes up for auction.
There you go. Yeah.
Like you either buy it, if you don't, it goes up for auction, and then you bid on it.
My family just never played with the auction rules.
Yeah, I never played with that either.
Okay.
If you really look at the rules are to be cutthroat and bankrupt your opponents as quick as possible.
Yes.
And the rules, a lot of these homebrew or house rules, try to keep you in the game longer by like you getting more money for landing on free spaces. I've seen people go, if you land on go, like if you're not just pass it, if you land on it, you get double the amount. So you get $400 versus $200.
I have not heard of that.
Little things like this to get you more money so you can build more, when really it's about destroying the other people and like bankrupting them as quickly as possible.
Right.
When everything else, that all these rules that I've seen that are like house rules keep the game going because people continue to have money.
Because it's not a miserable game already.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, man.
It
Monopoly,
takes too long.
It takes way too long, and it's probably because of the house rules. And like we're if we were playing it, rules as written, I'm sure it would be pretty brief.
I'm sure it's still long, but not for sure. So we got the leaded and unleaded. Can you tell the difference in yours? Do you know which is which?
I'm pretty sure that the one on my left of mine is the unleaded.
These look identical.
They do. Yeah. Same, like down to the carbonation, the little like slight island of bubbles on top.
Yeah, this one doesn't seem quite as carved when I look at the bubbles rising.
Oh.
The one that is non-alcoholic, but man, I haven't had this in so many years. Let's see if it holds up.
Yeah, I did smell a little skunkiness.
Yeah.
That classic green bottle skunk. Ooh, it's there.
So this is the alcoholic version. It's good.
Yeah, sweeter than I remember.
It is a lot sweeter. I actually don't mind it.
Not at all.
Which is weird because I would have never gravitated towards a Heineken. Because my remembrance is I didn't enjoy it. And it's not like the greatest beer ever. It's okay.
Yeah, I think it's a really respectable step up from an American light lager. Hang on. It's a really respectable step up from your Bud Miller Coors. Like, this is mostly water with a little bit of corn syrup.
This is why it tastes weird to me. It's a malt lager.
Okay.
So I wonder if it's like a mixture of a malt beverage and like a malt liquor and a beer.
Interesting.
That's why I'm like, there's something weird on the back end that I was like, doesn't remind me of like a regular, like traditional lager. And I was wondering what that was.
I wonder if that's to differentiate it from like a rice lager or a, I don't think you see corn lager on the labels of things very often, but a lot of our,
but they use corn. They just don't put it on the label. Yeah,
for sure. I wonder if this is to indicate that like this is a all malt and not adjuncts beer.
Oh, that makes more sense. Well, what is a malt liquor?
Oh, it's like a real strong. It's like a real strong Pilsner.
Oh, okay.
It's like an Imperial Pilsner. That's my understanding. You can check me if you want.
I mean, I've never really thought about it until just now. I know Jason at Say When did a malt liquor.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure it's still on tap. I don't know how quickly that thing would sell.
I would.
Not that like it's bad by any means. It's just when you hear malt liquor, I think of like Mickey's hand grenades, or like Colt 45,
Colt 45 Steel Reserve.
Yes, I was thinking, what's the other one? Oh, the Old English.
Oh yeah.
Like those are all terrible.
Yeah.
Like I did not enjoy any of those.
Oh.
So why would I go for a malt liquor at like a brewery?
It's a good question. I wonder.
He needs to bottle it in 40s, and that's the only way he sells it.
Oh yeah. Jeremy,
market that crowd.
Over at 903, they did their Pilsner series, like Italian Pilsner, German Pilsner.
Oh, yeah.
And they
did
sort
like
of,
a Texas Pilsner.
Yeah, the Texas Pilsner is like 8%, which I wonder if that is like dipping into malt liquor territory.
Right. Huh. So it says it's a type of mass market beer with high alcohol content. With 5% or more, made with malted barley. It refers to beers of high alcohol content, generally above 6%. I mean, this doesn't really give you hardly anything outside of malt liquor is a strong lager or ale in which sugar, corn, or other adjuncts. Okay, so it's a beer. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't tell me anything.
It is 70% of beers.
Yeah. It's not heavily hopped, so it's not very bitter.
Gotcha.
The malted barley or other adjuncts added to the malted barley to boost the total amount of the sugars. This just sounds like a beer to me.
Yeah, above 6%? Or what was their threshold? Was 5 or 6%?
It says first row beer of high alcohol content, generally above 6%.
Okay. Well, that is...
It doesn't make any sense to me.
No, that seems like that's so middle of the road.
Right.
Huh.
I mean, I guess that's higher than like Budweiser or like a Coors
Right.
Original.
Right.
Like those are like what 5%,
Yeah.
4.8 maybe.
Yeah, I think your fully loaded Budweiser is like 4 and a change to
Something
5.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
All right, you got the...
It smells the exact same.
Yeah, it's got that. Got that little bit of funk on the nose.
Oh, that is so much better than the other one.
Really?
I could drink the shit out of this.
Hang on.
Versus the leaded version. The leaded version has something weird in it that I don't like. Like the leaded version is like way sweeter. This one's like cleaner and like more crisp, in my opinion. It doesn't have the weirdness either.
No, yeah. That is... Yeah,
I actually enjoy that a lot. Yeah, I think it's better than the one that has alcohol in it.
I'm having difficulty telling the two apart. I think you're right that it's a little drier,
Yeah, it's a little drier.
but yeah, both of those are just absolutely good.
Yeah, it's just gonna be weird, but I like this so much that like, I'd probably give it a 4. Like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
really enjoying it right now.
Yeah, I think so. I'd say, yeah, like it's a totally reasonable beer. It's like I could drink probably 6 of them and be totally like maybe have a little sugar high, but I'd be fine.
Right.
Yeah, I'll give that. Yeah, 4 seems reasonable. Maybe 4 1/4.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, I'm really surprised. Like this is one I would buy. The Heineken Zero I'd probably buy and drink again. Like I enjoy it that much.
Nice.
So I'm going to show you a video in regards to these house rules. One of them is specifically with the game Uno.
Okay.
So watch this video. Tell me if you use any of these rules. I'll pull this up here.
People really don't know how to play their own game. This is why people don't fuck with corporate and upper management. Uno tweeted, "The rumors are true. You cannot officially stack a draw 2 on a draw 2. Really? Y'all could call it house rules, you could call it hood rules, whatever you want to call it, but you can definitely stack draw 2s on a draw 2. What's the point of playing if you can't compete? See, I'm going to take it a step further. You could put a draw 4 on top of a draw 2 and make the next person draw 6. See, Uno, we got
Hell
this.
yeah.
We got the game. We know the rules. Oh, y'all want more unofficial but official rules. Let's say if somebody hits you with a draw 2 and you got a skip of the same color, you could throw that bitch down and make the next person draw 2. And if
I
they
love
got a
that
skip,
rule.
they could
I
throw
am
it
totally
down
playing
and
with
make the
that.
next
That's
person draw
standard,
2,
yeah.
and so on and so on. Oh, but let's say if you got a reverse, I got you. Let's apply the same principles for the skip, but do it with the reverse card. Let's say if your raggedy ass cousin throws down a green draw 2 and you got a green reverse, throw that bitch down and send that draw 2 back to their trifling ass. Yeah, you thought you was gonna catch us slipping. This is competitive Uno right here. And all these rules apply to draw 4s. You just gotta wait for the person to say the color. And if they say the color and you got a skip or a reverse, throw that bitch down. Follow me and let me know, what rules do you play with Uno at your house?
So the only one I do is I stack the draw 2s. Everything else I have never played with, but I'm gonna start playing with all these rules.
I will let you know, I have played Uno once in the last 10 years. I did not know any of these were not standard.
No, they're not.
Okay.
These
I'm
are
like,
all house rules.
Yeah, why wouldn't you be able to? The game is you match the symbol or the color, and that's the whole thing. If
Yeah.
you can't... Huh.
See, I've always played that like with a draw 2, for an example. If I don't have another draw 2 to stack it, then I am drawing 2. That's my turn. So the next person goes.
Right.
But I like the idea of going, skip me with that draw 2. It's your draw 2 now. Like, I love this idea. I've never played that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Me and the kids played all the time. So this is what I'm definitely going to implement. That's funny that you're like, these aren't standard.
No, yeah, that is... I assumed that was like yeah, it's this is how we interpret the cards.
Right. Send it back to them.
You're not going to stop and read the rules like some communist.
Hey, these games that we've played for years and years, you're like, yeah, you just figure it out as you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like it's passed down. Like someone has taught you the rules when you were a child, and someone taught them the rules when they were. And so like there's some like a game of telephone.
Exactly.
Things get lost.
Exactly. These are ones that I've never read the rules on, like these two games, Monopoly and Uno.
Oh yeah.
But like, can you think of anything else with like? Because I was always thinking of these like classic games. Like me and the kid like to play Clue, but we typically play pretty by the books with that. But I've heard that some people have weird rules. So
my mind goes to Dungeons and Dragons, which is not like a board game, but it is a tabletop game, and like there's a bunch of
homebrew rules with that,
and things that have gotten like so standardized. How are you? Hey, do you want to dip into some nerd talk?
I mean, we totally can. I know before when I talked about it, like one of the big homebrew rules that I have not developed, have started using is when it comes to experience points. Just at the end of the session, you automatically level up, or you get half of your experience points depending on what you guys did that day. But I don't collect them as you go. Like I don't go, hey, you killed this bear. How much? Let's look at the book and see how many experience points this is. Nah.
Right. Yeah.
I don't do any of that.
Yeah. There's value in every way of doing that. Like, there is just like part of the human brain likes to see numbers get bigger. So like I get to add 500 XP to this, but also that's like, if you can knock out any unnecessary bookkeeping in that game, do it.
That's exactly what I try to do.
Yeah. And there's one that's really been, and people are so loyal to this idea. You've got your critical hits, right? That's standard.
Oh yeah. How do you do the critical hits? This is a good one.
Oh, that's great. The rules as written is you just roll your damage die twice.
Yep.
And that,
I think it's dumb.
That can lead to like, well, man, I rolled 20, awesome, I love it. And then like, oh, I rolled my damage die twice, and both were a 1. Right. And so it's a real bummer of a turn, dude.
Yeah.
So I think there's one way is you roll one die, and then you add the maximum you could get with the other die.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
The one die is automatically maxed out.
Yes.
Yeah. So you feel like it's a critical hit.
Exactly. Give it a good feel.
Right.
Now, critical misses have never been part of the game, to my knowledge.
I thought that they were a part of the game in 3.5. Were they not?
Oh.
I feel like I used to play with them. Now, granted, I didn't know the rules all that well back then, but I felt like we used to play with them, and my DM would be like there's bad things would happen.
I wonder if I'm making stuff up.
I mean, it's been so long since I've played 3.5, but
same.
I want to say that it wasn't. It was only if you rolled a 1, and at the time, critical hits were 19 and 20. I remember that. But you roll a 1, and like he would always come up with something clever, like roll a die for like what's your, I don't know, your athletics or your acrobatics. Let's see if you fall, or if you fall, let's see if you hurt somebody, or like random stuff like that.
Yeah, your arrow goes astray and hits your friend.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. See, if that's not in it, that's so dumb that it's not in there anymore. Didn't realize it wasn't in there anymore.
Oh, really?
Because that's something that just makes sense to me.
I've been won over to the other side. I used to think it was a fun additional thing, but now I'm like, well, you've got these highly trained like martial characters who are like, I'm going to swing my sword 4 times every turn,
every second.
Right. And so, but then also 5% of the time you you accidentally chop your leg off or something.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like
I could see like not having it as you level up, but as like lower levels, the inexperience, it makes sense to me from just like a logical perspective on like, yes, you're level 1 or even a level 0. You're not very proficient with your weapons yet.
That makes sense.
So
that makes
the
sense.
higher you go, I could see taking that off the table at some point.
All right. I love it.
Cool. Awesome. So got a couple other things here that I wanted to just get your reaction on.
Yes.
Okay. So number one, how good are you at chugging?
Terrible. Absolutely awful.
And do you like an Irish car bomb?
Yes. I love an Irish car bomb.
It's better than Guinness itself. Like,
oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a nice, it's
the
like
best.
It's a chocolate milkshake.
It's chocolate milk,
Yeah.
yes. This is the ultimate Irish car bomb, and I do not know how he does this.
Oh,
This makes no sense to me.
Oh.
I mean,
How much Bailey's?
like an entire pint.
Dear God.
The one thing that seems dangerous is the pint sliding in and smacking you in the face.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
But how he chugs a beer that quick, I don't understand. And then I've
he's
seen
just-
this new thing too.
Oh, I've seen that around, yeah. Have you ever tried that?
No.
Cause the little cyclone in the
I
bottle?
would just spill it all over myself.
No,
Like,
same, yeah.
I don't know how to open my throat like that.
No, yeah.
And nobody, one guy in the corner claps. I don't know how you open your throat like that. So just
Same.
let it slide down.
No, yeah, and that's like I joined a fraternity when I was in college, and there were a number of times that I was involved in chugging games.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been like 20 years, I can say that. Nobody's going to get in trouble. And yeah, and I was always the weak link on the chugging games. And
Yeah.
they'd be like, just open your throat. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that, dude.
I don't know what you're talking about, but he had like...
I will aspirate this beer and die.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't understand it. It really doesn't make any sense to me. But this is a cool thing that somebody found that I think that you might get a little kick out of.
What?
All right, so I found this. I was cleaning out my garage, and it's definitely a dried up worm, but like also 100% the staff of a rat wizard that uses it to cast the most unethical rodent spells.
Excuse me.
I don't know why it seems
says-
unethical, but yeah.
It's a dried up worm?
That's what he says it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Like a dried up worm,
That's incredible.
but it's the staff of a rat wizard.
Yes. Oh man, that's great. I thought this was going to be. My feed has been filled with people who find cool sticks who are like, this is a S tier stick.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so I thought this was like, oh, this is a cool stick he found. It being a dried up worm is so much better and so much worse.
Right.
Incredible.
Your feed sounds so weird.
I don't know. I think I was like, oh yeah, that's a pretty cool looking
Just
stick.
look at this stick.
Like, nice, yeah, cool stick, man. And now it's just like every so often there's a stick video. Somebody
Yeah.
like, this stick is perfectly balanced. This stick looks like a pistol.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. I like a buddy sent me a picture of like some meme with a centaur, and now I get so many centaur memes. It's ridiculous, and it happened once, and I didn't even look it up myself. He sent it to me.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird how that stuff works.
Yeah. I would say something similar is going on with my wife and I and cat videos, because that is how we communicate when we're not
Oh,
together.
yeah.
Sometimes even when we are together. But also, like, I think that that's just what the internet is mostly, is cat videos.
I mean, I feel like it was bigger at one point. When I was younger, and I wonder if it's still a website. Cat memes were huge, and it was because of a website called I Can Hash Cheeseburger.
Yes.
And I say this, I was probably in high school, so like the early mid 2000s.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Like, and it's weird that has held on.
Yeah.
They just become cat videos versus memes now.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. There was a budding mythology of like ceiling cat and basement cat and And Icon has cheeseburger. I feel like that fed into Doge memes. Like it was cats and then dogs talking funny.
I'm not. Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there are iconic memes.
Oh,
like
for sure.
meme characters. Like this guy or like, what is it? Kermit the Frog sipping tea.
Yes.
Like there's just like classic, like famous ones. I didn't realize this guy had a name.
I think so.
Doge.
Yeah, that's Doge. Of course, he's been co-opted by is it Elon Musk that did Dogecoin.
Oh, that's why he calls it that, was because of this guy.
Yeah, and I think it even has like. Hang on, it's an imaginary. No, there's a physical. They've created
it
physical
is
coins. I think.
A fake thing.
Right.
Like it's a cryptocurrency.
Right.
Like I never got into it.
Same. I feel like I dodged a bullet there. Of course, 10 years I'll be like, oop, should have gotten into cryptocurrency.
Nah.
But yeah, my understanding is it's based entirely on this.
That's funny.
On this cool meme.
That's hilarious. I did not know that. That's funny. Oh, it does. It has the dog in the D.
Oh, there you go.
And I guess he has made some medallions or something out of it. Okay.
It's really bumped up. Oh, that is over the course of today. All right, just something happened at about 3.
Yeah.
Oh. Something happened at about. I don't know how to read these charts.
This is in the last 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just like today, it's within the last 24 hours.
Okay.
So something happened last night, like it sparked. It came up at like 3:30 yesterday.
There you go.
3:25 yesterday. Yeah. Cool. I don't know anything about it. 13 cents is where it's at. It doesn't sound like it's too profitable right now.
No. I don't know.
I don't know what's considered profitable.
I mean, a line moving up and to the right is good.
Sure.
There we go.
Sure.
That was.
I'll run with it.
Yeah, I took an econ class when I was in high school.
All right.
I know all about it.
Yeah, I did the same thing, and it was a semester.
Oh, really? Okay. I did. Yeah,
because we
here.
did like I think it was government one semester and econ another semester. Like those are like the required classes in Texas. I want to say.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, okay, and I learned nothing in either one of those classes.
I feel like I got a feel for. I was always sort of a math kid, and so like the charts in econ really like. I could play around with those and have fun.
Okay.
I couldn't necessarily like link them to the real world stuff.
Right.
But like I'm like, yeah, I know how to manipulate a chart. That's great.
Yeah, like I think we did like we bought a stock
Yeah.
and just watched it the entire. That's the one thing I remember. I'm sure we did other stuff with it in between, but that was the thing. Was this is the stock that you're buying, and let's see if you make money on it by the end of the
Nice.
whatever.
I think one of our projects was to compare 2 real world currencies over the course of like 6 months, and I was like, I'm going to pick 2 places I don't know anything about. I got the Zimbabwe dollar and the Luxembourg franc.
Okay.
I'm going to say they were neck and neck.
Oh, really?
They were
Okay.
like within a couple of percentage of one another for that entire 6 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, that's fun.
You learn so many valuable things in high school.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It definitely it seems that way. So we've got one more here. This is an IPA.
Okay.
Now this is not the same IPA. One of these is a commercial, just local Dallas IPA, and the
Okay.
other one is a non-alcoholic.
Oh,
We
I
don't
see.
know what's what.
Okay.
The idea is to see if we can figure out which one's the non-alcoholic.
Okay. So we need to. Just going to take these, scoot them back here. This may end tragically. No, we're good.
Cool. Yeah, I can't move this.
Okay.
We'll do all right.
Okay. We've got a little cup and a big cup. Do you want to
cool.
do the honors?
Oh, sure. We'll pour this one into the big one.
Okay. I will hit the small one with this. So how long have you been doing this podcast?
This is the 5th season.
Okay. How long? Tell me more.
So basically, in 2020, when the government said you can't have fun and you can't leave your house, I did my first podcast. I didn't do that on purpose in that manner, but me and my buddy Larry did it. Did a what do you call it? Because he wasn't feeling well, so I remember dropping a beer off at his house, and we did it virtually, like we did it just audio over like Zoom.
Nice.
And it was audio only whenever it started. But yeah, so 5th season now. These look completely different.
One of these has got a little. One of these is opaque. One's
hazy and one's not.
All right, so the can closest to me is what's in the smaller cups.
Correct.
Okay. Just want to keep them straight so we can figure out how accurate we are.
So let's see here. I mean, you get a little bit of hop aroma, not a tremendous amount.
It doesn't punch you in the face. That is a pretty mild flavor. There's some hoppiness there.
Yeah, it's got some hop profile, but not as much as you would expect out of a
drinkable for sure.
If they would have labeled it in a pale ale, I think would have been a little bit more accurate rather than an IPA. But this one is a Butte.
Yeah,
that is
crystal
pretty.
Clear.
Oh man, the smell.
That's got some fruit. Ooh boy, that is mango-y or something. Well, that's just lovely. That's fantastic. Oh my goodness.
So this is really going to be more for you because I already know what it is because I don't know which is which, but I know what I bought.
Okay.
I did not expect it to taste like this. But yeah, so which is which in your opinion?
Oh, I'm going to say in our goblets we have our non-alcoholic. Going to, I don't think it's athletic.
It's not.
It's not. Okay.
This is a new one that I had never seen.
Oh, okay.
This is, I believe to be the same. I'm on the same boat that you are. Same page, I should say. This is Best Day Brewing Hazy IPA.
I saw these at the local Specs. I was thinking about picking up a sixer of one to bring over. I'm glad you got something.
Yep.
Nice.
This I had never had.
This is fantastic.
Every beer this brewery puts out is amazing, so I knew it was going to be good. Based on the name, I thought it was going to be hazy.
Really? Let me think about that. So something in the name made you think hazy.
Yeah.
Okay. God, it's so tropical. There's so much fruit. I wonder if
it tastes a little fake to me. I'm not a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's one of the they've done a lot better beers than this.
Okay.
And I think they're one of the better breweries, the most consistent brewery in all of DFW, in my opinion.
Oh well, I think we all know who this is.
Who is it?
Manhattan Project.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is surprising. It does. I mean, it's the first couple sips are fantastic, but I can see like a full pour.
Yeah, I don't want
getting
a full
little
pour.
cloying.
Yeah. So. Pardon me. So yes, I think they're the most consistent brewery in all of DFW. This one, in my opinion, it's not bad, but it's not as good as what they've done in the past. So it's I would dare to say it's a miss, even though it's not bad. It's a miss in their standards.
I'll buy that. Yeah.
Yeah, but open it. I forget what it's called. It's like a Pina Colada IPA, I think is what it's.
That makes a lot. Atomic Alliance, Manhattan Project Beer Company, Pina Colada IPA. There you go. Okay. That's where the fruit's coming from. Ooh. And 7.1. There we go. That makes total sense of the fruit flavors, and coconut is something that is really punchy to me, but that I can't always identify. Pina colada coconut, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would pina colada. So pineapple and coconut is what I would think you're getting.
Huh.
I think it's sweeter than their scale shows, but it's not bad.
It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination.
It doesn't taste. It tastes like they put some fake adjuncts in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. Do these cans have a sweetness? Oh, look at that.
Yeah, like the coconut tastes weird to me.
Nice. Yeah.
It was good for what it is.
Absolutely.
And good for the amount that I had.
Yes. Man, I don't know. It's growing on me, dude.
Is it really?
Like, yeah. Yeah, it's a little sweet, but yeah.
Like the coconut just tastes a little weird to me. I think that's the big thing that I think is that I'm not a huge fan of is the coconut.
Right.
And then this has the weird non-alcoholic something
Yeah,
that I
there's
can't
that little,
identify. I don't know what it is, but it's just weird
I
non-alcoholic.
don't either. Yeah. It's not as pronounced as some of the beers, some of the non-alcoholic beers
yeah.
I've had.
Yeah, I wouldn't give this a super high rating by any means.
No.
I don't know that I'll buy it again. It's good for what I've got. Man, I'm thinking like a 2.5.
Oh, for our NA version?
Yeah.
I mean, it's drinkable. There's just not much to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, you know what? I'll say 3.
3? Okay.
Yeah. I would not turn it down if I was thirsty and this was all I had in the fridge.
Yeah, I think the Athletic is better than this.
Yeah.
Their Run, whatever it is, Run Wild or whatever
That
it's called.
sounds right. Yeah.
Wild Runner. I don't know. Theirs, I think, is a little bit better because I think they punch it up with the hops. I think if they would have punched this up with hops, it would be better.
Yeah, there's something missing there in the hops and
Right.
with the lack of body and much of the other stuff.
Right.
You've really got to make that up. Yeah.
So what's your opinion on coffee beer?
Oh, I love a coffee beer.
Do you always want 5 gallons of it? Like, have you brewed a coffee beer?
I have not brewed a coffee beer. No, I have not brewed any coffee beer. I've brewed a number of dry stouts, which usually have like some coffee notes.
Right.
I'll usually drink a full pour of a coffee beer.
Yeah.
Like if it's, even there's, usually we say like a stout, a porter,
Right.
a brown ale maybe. Those are the appropriate things for
There
coffee
was
beers.
somebody that did
I think
a
I've had-
coffee blonde though.
Ooh, a coffee blonde.
Yeah, it was so good. I think I had it at the Green Growler. I don't know that they have it now. This has been a little while, but it was so good. I want to say it was by Searing Rock, maybe.
Okay. I'm not familiar with Searing Rock.
I can't type for some reason. Let's try
I
this
know.
again.
I think Stone put out a coffee IPA that was better than you would imagine. It was very good.
Awful, but I bet it's good.
I got a 6-pack, went through it, not like all in the same day, but over the course of several days. Decent beer.
I don't see it on here initially, but yeah, I remember it being pretty good. But I got an idea for you that we need to try. I may have to have you on the show again so we can do this experiment.
I'd love to be.
It is process improvement on how to make a coffee beer. Now this would be
Absolutely.
good for just a single pour. So it's like, I've got this beer. I want to see what this tastes like with coffee over it. This is how you do it. So tell me if you think this would work, number one. Number two, like I said, we have to just try it. This idea seems too dumb not to.
Oh.
Let's make our own coffee beer. Coffee beers are my favorite, but there aren't enough light ones in my opinion. So today, I'm making my own.
A summer
To start,
lager.
we'll grind some coffee to a medium consistency and add it to our brewer. I'm using the switch that has a stainless steel ball and allows me to stop the brewer from draining, therefore allowing more contact time between the coffee and the beer. After the coffee is in the brewer, we'll add in about a third of the beer, stir and let it sit for 2 to 3 minutes. After the beer and the coffee have had enough contact time, open the switch and we'll let the coffee beer drain out. We'll then pour the remaining beer through the grounds with the switch open. The final result is a beer that maintains the essence of the original beer, but with a strong coffee profile.
Cheers.
Let's make our own coffee beer. Coffee beers are my favorite.
So, one, do you think that this will work? That's the first question.
What I think is going to happen, what I think is going on here is you are going to get beer that definitely has coffee flavor. Mm-hmm. There will be no carbonation in that beer
thing
whatsoever.
looks so flat, didn't it?
So, takes a sip. It is the flattest beer.
It looked flat as hell. It totally did. Because you're pouring it through a filter. You're filtering out all the carbonation.
Yeah, I feel like I thought he was going to be like, and then you pour the rest of the beer into that, and so you get like you save some of the carbonation. No, pour it all
That's
through.
actually a better idea.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
You get like the concentrated third, and then you pour the rest of it into it and just mix it.
Yeah.
That sounds like it would be so much better because you would get the carb. Because that damn thing looked flat as hell.
It's just, it is. There's nothing there. I'm fascinated by this. I wonder how strong that would come out. It seems like that would come out like with a
like punch you in the face strong. Yeah.
I don't do pour over coffee. I've never tried it, but it seems like he's put enough coffee grounds in there for like half a pot of coffee.
So like these pour overs, like I've got a pour over style. It's like it's called a Chemex.
Okay.
And it makes like 3.5 cups. It's one of these.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
It makes
around.
like 3.5 cups.
Yes.
Like 3.5 8-ounce cups.
Oh okay.
So like what he's doing, yes, it's gonna be pretty strong because like I've seen them where you could just sit them over one cup. And you can just put enough grinds for just 1 cup. Yeah, I like the idea of making like almost like you're making like a quick tincture, and then you're just pouring the rest of your beer into it. I like that idea better.
That's okay.
That seems like a way to improve his improvement.
Right. Okay. So that's worth a try. I think that's an interesting idea. I'd like to see just how it comes out. It can't be like great.
It can't be awesome, no?
I don't think it's possible for it to be like, wow, I've
Like,
really
damn, that thing was so good. I don't know why I haven't done this more often.
But I'd be super fascinated to see what comes out of it.
Sounds too good to be true.
Sure.
Is what it sounds like.
Yes.
All right, so we're just going to have to try the
Absolutely.
experiment then.
Okay.
I mean, that's what it boils down to, right?
Yes.
Gotta try the experiment.
I think it's whoa.
So-
oh no.
You're a smart guy.
Thank you.
Smarter than I. More, you have more engineering experience than I do.
Maybe. Here's the thing. I
Uh-huh.
grew a beard and let it turn white, and now everybody thinks I'm really smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the question. So you've seen, I know you don't brew on one, but you've seen like one of these all-in-one brewing.
Yeah, your grainfather, your
You've seen
yeah.
you've seen him in action.
Yes.
Hey.
I don't know if I've sat like all the way through the brew process with any of them.
Okay.
But I've seen.
But you're familiar enough with the process. How does this happen to where it kind of almost implodes?
How? Good Lord.
This is a grainfather.
I see. Okay. So up top, oh boy. Okay. So what we've got up top.
I love your mind is how your mind's working right now. I can
Yep.
see the rat racing.
I think this is a grainfather.
It is, yeah. That's the same model I have. I don't have that top contraption. It looks like he is probably distilling.
That's where my mind goes. Just from the photos of distilling equipment I've seen in the books.
From understanding the process.
The process, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like he's got I could be absolutely wrong about this, but it looks like that top contraption is a distilling cap. And
Wouldn't this be all stainless steel though? I mean, I've only seen it in videos. I've never done it.
I wonder if that's
But it looks like it connects here too, which doesn't look right.
right. I wonder if that's like a recirculation cleaning situation.
Because I wonder if this is a I've seen these things. They're condensers that are made that you can buy for the top of like fermenters, or not fermenters. I'm sorry, but boil kettles.
Yes.
And it helps like eliminate. It catches like all the condensation.
Oh, really?
Is what it kind of does.
Okay.
So like you don't get, so your house or whatever room you're in doesn't become like a sauna.
Gotcha. Oh, that makes sense. I do know that if it was a distilling incident, I do know that there's a marginal chance that you could have your equipment sort of collapse inward if certain criteria are met. If you're using a thumper, which is
so like, is it like a vacuum thing that happens, or like
yeah, like sorry,
you're all good.
It's been a little while since I've looked at these photographs in books. But my understanding is, it creates a vacuum, and it can create a vacuum if you're using a specific kind of auxiliary equipment.
Okay.
That as the at that point it would be a wash, cools, then like you're creating a vacuum, and it's just sucking in and sucking in and sucking in, right?
Really? And it just sucks in so much that it collapses.
Yes.
Obviously this is a catastrophic event.
Right. No, I've never seen that happen. And my understanding is that a lot of the cautionary stuff around home distilling is like a little bit overblown. It's not as
it's semi-dangerous. Is that what they say?
Yeah. But yeah, that's where my mind originally went. I don't know how this. Oh, what does the text say? Does this...
I'm just trying to read it here. It just says that he's been using it. He's done over 300 brews in it.
Interesting.
And I'm like, that's a lot of brews in it.
Sure is.
And it just says that something went wrong.
Huh.
Made a fine mess out of my amazing tool.
Oh, yep. Oh, this poor guy.
Yeah. It just says that he's made a lot of beer out of it. It's been great. It's worked well. Can you send me another one? What the hell happened? Like...
Yeah. My first inclination is something got shut off. He's got the little clamps on top there. Something got shut off from access to air as things cooled down.
As it cooled.
Yeah, things
is when it started to. Okay, that makes sense.
Heat expands as it cools. It contracts.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like trying to cool it a certain way. I don't know. Because this might be hooked up to his counterflow chiller over here in the background.
Oh, that could be.
That's what this black thing is.
Yes.
That could be the hose from that we just can't see outside of the.
Oh yeah. Oh
of the thing, and this may be connected to their side, and he's cooling it, and it's like you need to have open ventilation when you're cooling, and he had it all airtight. I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta have some way to break the vacuum.
That's the bro science portion of the show where we just talk out of our ass.
Nice.
It's the best thing to you got to say it with confidence. Like this is exactly what happened.
Yes.
He cooled it down and it was vacuumed and it just sucked in because it contracts when it gets cool.
Yeah. Rookie mistake.
Rookie mistake.
Somebody
300 brews my ass.
who has more brews under their belt with this one contraption than I've ever.
Oh yeah.
Maybe than I've ever drank. That's
yeah. No, this guy. Yeah, he should know better if he has that much experience. Huh. But I will say this. There are a lot of good non-alcoholic beers out in the market. This Heineken blew me away.
Heineken stands up. Damn.
This was the highlight of all these little tasters.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I think maybe the Euro Lager has got it figured out when it comes to non-alcoholic beers. As I tried a Stella Artois.
Oh yeah.
Stella Artois. Recently, their non-alcohol version, and I would not have been able to tell you it was NA if I hadn't been told.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that they even did an NA one. Okay.
Yeah, worth looking at if it is something that you are
Oh, I totally will.
interested in exploring.
Is it the Libre?
I believe so. Yeah,
It is, yeah. Liberté.
Stella Artois Liberté. Is it
Is
English?
is it French?
Is it Italian?
I mean, the way you said it made it sound all French.
Yes.
Trying to French it up, dirt.
There we go.
But man, I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Oh, it's
this
always
was
a pleasure, dude.
great experience. We need to do this again with the coffee.
I think so. Yeah, I
and
think that's a great idea.
See how that turns out. But I appreciate you. Everybody go online and follow us at _Dudes and Brews. But we're out of here. We appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of Dudes and Brews. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever platform you're on. We're on there. We have a YouTube channel, Dudes and Brews. We would love if you would subscribe there as well. If you are subscribed and you want to help us out just a little more, unsubscribe and resubscribe again. It sounds funny and stupid and kind of obnoxious, all of the subscribing and resubscribing and stuff, but it helps within these little algorithms games for like climbing the charts, because again, we are organic and we are where we are because of you guys.
Yeah, we really do appreciate your support. Shout us out. We really do love it when you guys interact with us, when you add us, mention us, put us on your stories, tag us, all that fun stuff, all the stuff the kids are doing. We like grabbing that stuff and we put it up for you guys. So we appreciate you so much. Keep having fun, drinking them brews, hanging with them dudes. Tune in next week for another episode of Dudes and Brews.